Hi, all my stamping friends. Welcome to my studio for a Technique Tuesday. I have a really cute technique and card to show you. It's actually more than one card. It's a card grouping for gift cards. So, and not a gift card by per se, what you get at a store. These are cards that you put with the gift, if that makes sense. But anyway, we are going to do a technique, and I'm going to show how to do the technique once, but you get 4 different little gift tag cards. That's what I'll call it. And so I'm Lisa Fulford, your creative coach, and I'm so glad that you're here with me. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you can be notified of my next video. So let's change the camera around and let's get started with this technique. There we go. So this is the card that we are going to do. We're going to do 4 of these, but we're only going to do the technique one time. And so this is the technique that we're going to do, and it's called Emboss Resist. So I'll show you what that is. So I have a piece of 5x5 cardstock here, because each one of these will be 2.5 by 2.5. So I have a piece that's 5x5. I'm going to grab my paper cutter and show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to open this up, and at 2.5 inches, we're going to place that in the paper cutter, but we're not going to cut it. We're going to move that out of the way, and we're going to use the embossing blade, or the scoring blade. We'll score that. And we're going to turn it to 2.5 again. And we're going to score that. That gives you 4 different corners on the one piece of paper. So you can see those score lines going in across over the center. And then we are going to start adding our decorative to it. So I'm going to grab the embossing buddy. We're going to put that all over the front of this. We want that so that the embossing powder will not stick, only to the ink that we add. So I have some Versamark here, and this is a tacky ink. It has glitter and all kinds of stuff all over it. So I'm going to wipe some of that free. I have a paper towel here. You get some embossing powder all over it. And so I have one that I designate for embossing, and then I have one for, like, if I'm going to do a watermark on my cards. So I also have some white embossing powder here, and that's how we're going to do this. We're using the Delicate Pines stamp set. I like this stamp set a lot. We're going to use this snowflake and then this one down here, and you can see they are made with the branches of the pine trees. So I have that one loaded on a block, and I also have the smaller one. We're going to start with this, the larger of the two. We're going to stamp right here in the center. It doesn't have to be exactly centered. I'm going to stamp over here, and we're just kind of randomly stamping. Down there, here. And what we need to do is we need to make certain that we leave enough room for our sentiment. Try to see where it's all at, and we'll come in right there. I'm going to go ahead and put embossing powder on what I already have, so I can know where I'm going to put the smaller snowflake. I got to see a place where I can grab a hold of it right there. And then we're just going to dump the white embossing powder. Now, I'm putting mine in a coffee filter because if I don't, the embossing powder sticks to my tray, and I like to never get it out of there. Now, even though I used the embossing buddy, there's some stray embossing powder on there. Okay, so we'll see if I can get it to where you can see there. If I get it at just the right angle, you can see that. So I'm kind of missing some snowflake in here, so I need to put another one there of the larger ones. Set this off to the side. We'll be using that again. So in here, I'm going to bring it there. All right, so that one will be probably good to go. We're going to do the little ones. Let's see, we're going to go there, there, here, there. Let's see. Do there, here. I like to go over those cross areas so it doesn't look so, I want it to look random. I gotta find out where that snowflake is. I don't want to try not to cross over the snowflakes, but I'm leaving some open areas. Let's see what that looks like. We'll dump the embossing powder on there and go from there. So I'm going to grab this. I have coffee filters. That makes it easier. Okay. I'm just trying to coat all the snowflakes that are on here. Knock off any excess. All right, so there again, we've got it right there. I'm wondering if it's putting a halo where the snowflake is, because it seems to be along the edges. There. So that's looking really well for leave openings for to do the stamping. So we'll put this all back in the jar and get, oops, knocked it over. All right, so put this lid on, and then grab my lint roller to pick up most of that I just dumped. Okay. Move this for now so I don't knock off that. Can't heat emboss with all this powder everywhere. So I used the lint roller, and now this is just a microfiber cloth, trying to make certain I can clean my workstation. Now we're going to heat emboss this. So I'm going to grab this with my tweezers. And we're going to heat up the gun first, and then we will do our embossing, the heating of the embossing powder. All right, so I'm going to put it on number 2 and let it heat up for a moment before I add it, direct it to my paper. It's starting to get shiny where some of them are dull still. You just want to stay until it gets all melted. If you stay too long, it will burn. You're going to take your time. And now you can see all the snowflakes are shiny. You have to get it in the angle just right so that you can see it. All right, I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. I have a blending brush here. I have some ink on it that's not misty, so. And then I need a Post-it note. There we go. So I'm going to put the Post-it note on the corner because I'm going to hold that. That way I don't get as much ink all over me. And as we start, I'm going to start off the page. See how it's really dark and when you swirl? And it's okay if there's some dark and some light. Turn it. All right. So far, this is what it looks like, and that's pretty. I hope we can make it look better. I'm going to close that. I have a paper towel here that I've been using. We're going to buff a little bit on the snowflakes. And as we do, see the difference between this snowflake and that snowflake? This one's a brighter white and that has blue. So the ink deposited on top of that embossing powder. Now we are removing it just by buffing it off the embossed snowflakes. And a little bit of the ink is coming off the cardstock itself. Just buff it a little bit. See, and that is so much prettier. Just that white now shows through. Now this one here, it didn't do all that well, but that's fine. I'm also going to take, this has got water in it. I'm going to take, just flick some water and blot it dry. And that'll remove some of that ink as well. And kind of give it a splotchy little look to it, so it looks like other snow in the background. Make sure it's all dry because it lifts the ink. My hands all dry. Then I'm going to heat this real quick, not real close, just I want to dry it. All right, so that is our technique. You stamp with Versamark, add your white embossing powder. You can do clear, especially with this being a white cardstock. And then you heat emboss it. And when you're finished with that, you add the ink on top and then buff the snowflakes so that you can get the ink cleared off. And that is the resist, is that the ink resists to go into the places where the snowflakes are. All right, so that part is finished. Now I'll bring that paper cutter back in and show you what we're going to do next. Move this out of the way. Don't need that anymore. All right, so those lines that are very prominent now, I'm going to put this in the paper cutter where we did the scoring. And we're now going to cut. So we're just staying on that line. So that's that 2.5 inch mark. So there's 2 of them. Excuse me, my phone is going off. Do this again, like that. So there's our 4 pieces. Now I also have some pieces here that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. This is 2.5 by 2.5, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and I have 4 of those. So those are the mattings, and we used to sell 3 by 3 cards with little envelopes, and they retired those. And for anybody who still has them, this is a great way to use them. But I have used up all of mine, so I did order some from I think you can get them from like Walmart.com, and you can get them from an office supply store. And so I have my card bases right here. I have some envelopes too, but right now we're just working with the cards. So I'll set that off to the side, and we're going to add these, but we're going to stamp first. So I'm going to use the Just For You. I'm going to do the Night of Navy, and this Night of Navy here as well. So I'm going to take the Just For You. I'll turn this around like this, and then try to get as straight as I can and stamp it in that void. Let's hope I can do that again. I'm gonna have to stand up for that though, with the glare. Can I do it? We'll see. Not great. This one may end up with this group because those are just 2 of them that I did. So it's not bad, but it's not great. So I need to make certain that I should have tried stamping it before I did the stamping, but it'll be fine. I'll turn this like this. And stamp. I'm going to make certain the pressure gets on all of it. So that one's a good one. I'm going to bring this one in. Stamp right there. And then we'll bring this one in. And stamp right there. So right now, that's all the stamping. Now we're going to do gluing. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. I have a love-hate relationship with Stampin' Seal Plus. This seems to do quite a bit better. The other tears my paper. Instead of putting the glue down, it takes the paper up. All right, so we're going to start our gluing. Line it up. Looks good. The next one. Looks good. Trying to get it on there as straight as I can. With the glue, you have wiggle room. With this, you can't press it until you get it how you need it. Like that. And then I'm going to bring in the hole punch, and I've got it's just a little one. It's just like a regular, I don't know, maybe for a brad or something. I don't really know what size that is. And then I have some of the black and white and the gold baker's twine. Oh, so it's black and white, gold baker's twine. So this is the white one with gold, and then there's a black one with gold. It would be really pretty with some silver, but I don't have silver right now. Put this in just a little ways in and punch 2 holes. There we go. Now we're going to take the thread. You're going to go down from the front and up through the back. Like that. And we're going to crisscross that. Nope, go the other way. Don't quite need that much of a thread. I'll just tie it into a bow. Like that. I'll hold my finger on the knot, pull the ends, and tighten. There's one of them. Down, up, crisscross, you do it on the spool, you're not as likely to waste as much. Tight. It was pretty quick. As long as you get a clean cut, makes it easy to go through those openings. And if you need to use reverse tweezers to hold your thread, you can. Sometimes I find them harder to use than to just hold it with my finger. You always want to hold your finger on the knot when you're pulling the ends, and pull the loops. We hardly have any waste when we're doing this. You can twist it around. There we go. We have one more. The opening is just large enough for the thread. And it's not stiff, but it's not real soft either. It's really pretty thread. And there is that. It takes a few minutes to put the thread through. I think it adds something to it. Okay, so that is finished. Look at this trash. That's all the trash that we make from that. All right, so we're going to bring these in. It's kind of like assembly line once you get it all put together. Like when you do all the stamping and then you cut it apart, then you just do the assembly line type thing. You do all the thread at once. You do all the gluing at once. And that makes for a quicker card making. Trying to shoot several videos today. I have family coming in for a surprise visit, and I want to be able to spend some time with them. So I am recording all kinds of videos all in one day. Okay, so here's my card bases. And now it's time to add these to the front. We're going to do this same thing again. Do all the gluing. I'm going over that thread so I don't lose it. Like if it comes untied, it won't slide out. All right. So make certain that opening's on the right and the crease is on the left. Lay that down. Oops, just like that. Comes untied when you pull on the end. There we go. Last one. And there you go. Our technique of the Emboss Resist and our 4 cards to put with a gift. It'd be really cute to package these up, put them in a cellophane bag, and put a topper. Keep on doing that. Maybe I need to put a glue dot under it, so I'll quit untying it. You can do that. But if you put it in a cellophane bag, put a little topper on your cellophane bag that matches the cards, you could give these as a gift themselves. Instead of putting it on a gift, you could gift this to somebody. So there we go. We'll hide that one that I did not so well on. So that is our technique. It's the Emboss Resist technique, and I really hope that you enjoyed how to do this and a little extra stuff that I added to this. They're not hard to make. They're actually pretty quick. To start with a 5x5 piece of cardstock, score them at 2.5 and 2.5, and then do your stamping with Versamark. Add your white embossing powder, or you can do clear, and then add your ink, buff the snowflakes or whatever it is that you use, and then cut it apart and start assembling your cards. So it's really easy. It looks hard, but it's super easy. So I hope that you enjoyed this card and this special technique. And if you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and show me some love. And then if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that bell so that you'll be notified of future videos. And you can also subscribe to have all of this information and inspiration sent directly to your inbox. So there's a link below. Click on that link and sign up, and I will be sending out the information out and going right to your inbox. So I want to thank you again for joining me for this Technique Tuesday, and I hope you have a fabulous day and happy stamping. Bye-bye.